5 minutes. We are gonna go live now. I have to do a different camera, so hopefully there's no weird latency issues. I am currently waiting for YouTube to catch up because that's what it tends to do. Yep, and we are live everywhere now. Cool. So this is D&D Builds, where usually we have some sort of outlet to make all sorts of ridiculous characters, but today we are going to be doing a D&D session for our Dungeon Master level patrons. I do have a bit of a cold, so hopefully I am able to talk through the entire thing. Today we have two patrons that are going to be joining us. One is a wood elf that is a combination of a fighter and a warlock, and then the other is a paladin, paladin barbarian, I cannot remember, but he appears to
Fighter
be a
warlock.
fighter warlock.
Fighter warlock.
Well, yeah, you're a fighter. Gyseric, you're a fire warlock too?
Paladin warlock.
Paladin warlock. Okay, so we have a paladin warlock and a fighter warlock, which is a very warlocky combo. And we're just going to be diving in. We try to do more of a quest of the week type of scenario, but there is overarching things that tend to happen. So it's all cohesive, but people can feel free to jump in and out as they need to. So today, let me bring up our little thing. We meet in the Adventurers Pub. That's this little scenario right here. There are plenty of people mingling about. There is a couple of bards up on stage, and those bards are singing away and actually sounding pretty decent. Those that have been around for a while know that the bards kind of used to suck, so they're doing much better than you would expect usually. So that is an interesting development. And there's a bartender at the bar and a quest board available. On the quest board, you see that there are 3 quests available for you now. One that's been sitting up there for quite a while. A man named Dalton has already claimed the quest, but needs additional people because he assumes that he cannot storm this castle by himself. There is a bugbear in a castle that has a princess that he has kidnapped. Then there is one that is very obviously from some sort of turtle, and the group has worked with turtles in the past. They worked with Raphael and helped save Michelangelo, but they might need some other help with some other things in the future. And then there is a brand new quest that is looking for some sort of rare artifact that is out in the wilderness. You can choose any 3 of these quests, or you can just wander out into the world and see what happens.
You know, I'm always down to find an artifact in the wilderness.
Dante is too.
Yeah, Linnea is always up that.
All right. Artifact in the wilderness it is. Is there anything you guys would like to do to prepare ahead of time?
Can I go to the magic shop?
Sure. What would you like to do at the magic shop?
I'm going to walk up to the guy and be like, "Hello, my name is Dante. I use a spear and a shield. Is there any way I can get this spear enchanted?"
Says, well, what kind of enchantments are you looking for?
Anything that'll help me do more damage, or perhaps something that will help me keep my friends safe from combat.
Said, that is fairly vague, but I'm sure we can accommodate that if you have the coin.
Do you have a manual, perhaps? Or like a list?
He says, of course. And he says, these are the basic enchantments, and these are the more specialized item, or we can customize something if you'd prefer. And let me look up the magic items list, so that way I'm not completely talking out of my butt. Wondrous items. Wow. All right. Okay, so for uncommon items, it usually costs about 500 gold.
Ooh.
And how many sessions have you been in? I believe they've been in what, three sessions?
3,
Yeah.
yes.
So you've so far earned 300 gold.
Do you take credit?
It says, I have in the past, but I tend to avoid that now after a few adventurers went ahead and found themselves dead while being on credit.
Oh, okay. I will come back then. I do not have the cash available.
Let me see if there's any sort of. You would be able to come up with a common item, probably for something more like 100 gold, but they are
Okay.
much more common, as the name would suggest.
Uh, um. Oh, here's a question, good shopkeeper. Do you happen to know of spears out in the world?
Of what out in the world?
Magical spears out in the world, shopkeeper?
Says, of course, they can be found in plenty of places, especially if you go down to that old historic village that is just filled with nothing but warriors. They really prided themselves on quite a few spears and shields.
Oh, can you mark that down on a map?
Says, of
Or
course.
something
And then as you pull out a map, he just kind of marks it really quick. He's like, it's about a 3 days travel. Not too bad. But if you have a horse or some sort of mode of transportation, it'll take you a fraction of the time.
Okay, thank you very much.
Says, of course.
Have a
And
good day.
he
And I
says,
tip him 5 gold for the info.
oh, that is quite a generous tip. Thank you. And Lunaire, I'm not sure if I mentioned previously, but every quest that you complete, every member of that quest automatically gets 100 gold, and then there's usually one special item that's granted at the same time.
Oh no, I don't think that was mentioned before.
Yeah.
So,
Anything you would like to do in the meantime, Lunaire, as you prepare to go out on your adventure?
I just want to make sure my component pouch is all full and that all my equipment is in good shape.
Indeed, it is.
Then Linnea's good to go.
All right.
I'm good to go as well.
Perfect. All right, let me make sure I have the appropriate icons as you venture out into the wild. I want you both to make a survival check. As you have a vague idea of where you're going, you can use survival or nature to decide or to figure out exactly the aspects of the place you're going.
Sorry, what was that? Your voice kind of.
Oh yeah, so you can decide on either using survival or nature to get some sort of aspect of what you might be using or where you might be going, and you might know a bit more about it, because there's some vague directions of where you're going, but you don't exactly know unless you do well on this roll.
Yeah. All right. All right. All right.
Ooh, with that nat 3, you know absolutely nothing. As far as you're concerned, you are essentially going in the complete opposite direction of where you should be.
Yeah. Lunaire actually has a negative modifier for survival, so if I'd rolled that and gotten that, I would have gotten an actual 0.
Cool. What about you guys, Sarek? Or, sorry, you're Dante in here. So Dante.
Let me roll for Dante. You said a survival check?
You can do survival or nature.
Well, I have a -1 in nature, so I'll just do survival.
Survival. Yeah, you don't know too much about it. You just have a general idea of where you're going, and that's all you're going to know.
I think we go this way.
All right. Finally found an appropriate image to use. All right, so you start heading out into the wilderness, and you know it's going to be roughly 3 days travel as far as what the quest already laid out. It's like, all right, you're going to head straight east, and then you find yourself in some woods.
So, Lunia, I feel like we should get to know each other in case you go down.
Yeah, feel free to. I mean, you're going to go on a 3-day voyage, so you're going to be chatting a bit along the way.
All
Tell us a
right.
little bit about yourself.
Well, Lunaire responds, saying that he's from a country that was destroyed by a cult a long time ago, and has been trying to hunt it down in the meantime, and using quests as a way to gather funds and items to help him.
But that's terrible. And how long ago did this happen?
Oh, it was a very, very long time ago. It was about 180 years ago.
He is a wood elf, so he would have lived very long.
Oh, I see. I don't know how old I am. I know I've been alive through a couple kings. Don't know their names. Didn't really bother to learn. But what you should know is that my name is Dante, because there was a tombstone. I liked the name, so I took it.
It's a very fine name, Dante.
Thank you.
So along your travels, you do have to rest 2 times. So would one of you like to be keeping watch on one of them? I know wood elves only need about half as much rest.
I wouldn't, mind taking the first watch or something.
Okay. So Lunaire takes the first watch, and let's see if anything happens. Nothing happens. Then, during the second watch, nothing happens. And you voyage further and further with those terrible, terrible survival checks, and you find yourself in the wilderness. But you've come across a very interesting area where there's not the same type of wildlife you're used to coming across. I want you to both make nature checks.
Nature check away.
Linnea doesn't really know.
Okay. With a 10, you know the basic idea of what these things are, as you're seeing a surprising amount of dinosaurs.
Dinosaurs.
You probably, and with that nature check, you probably are familiar enough just to know that this is an area where a lot of druids tend to travel just to become a bit more familiar with different types of creatures, so that way when they need to shapeshift, they can turn into this. So you see mostly passive dinosaurs. So there's plenty of herbivores, but there are a few carnivores here and there, and nobody's particularly hunting you down or anything.
Oh. I'm gonna move to hidden items.
And they're mostly ignoring you because they're pretty much just straight up beasts. Oh, as I spill water all over my desk. But it's okay.
Oh, you don't have anything special in there?
No, just my computer, you know.
Yeah, that's perfectly fine.
Yeah. But you do see some dinosaurs, but nothing's really attacking you or anything like that. And you were given a slight tracking device of some kind. It looks like it was built by an artificer, but it's very cheaply made and will give you some sort of general idea of where to go. It kind of looks like a compass, and it shows the general direction of where you might find this ancient magical artifact.
A compass that doesn't point north.
Yes. A very common magical item that does pop up in the special items table that you can get just from rolling a new character.
Okay.
But now that you're closer, it does seem to be like actually pointing you in a direction. It wasn't really doing anything on the journey out, but now that you've gotten to this area, it does point you like, hey, this way, that way. Like, you know that there's something going northeast.
Alright.
Let's go to the druids if we can borrow one of the diamonds to ride.
I'm having a little trouble hearing you there. I don't know if you were slightly further away from your microphone.
Sorry, I was eating.
Oh, yeah.
I said maybe we can ask one of the druids if we could borrow one of the dinosaurs to ride.
I mean, you don't see any druids around right now unless you want to go ahead and search for them with a investigation or perception check.
Well, their perception.
Okay, go for it. Yeah, you're going to have some trouble tracking down a druid with an 8 perception check. And even more trouble with a 4.
I'm just not familiar with anything here.
Yeah, it is completely new landscape as far as you're concerned. There is nothing familiar about it. But you just know that, hey, if I head northeast, maybe we'll find this thing.
Yep.
Can I ritual cast Find Steed?
I wonder if you can. Let me check. Find Steed. Because I'm assuming you have the like meta magic adept or whatever.
I do believe it's a ritual.
You do? Sorry, what?
I said I do believe it's a ritual.
Okay, if you have meta magic adept, let's see, cast time. I think you have to target a creature. Let me double check.
No, it's you summon a spirit. But if I want a ritual cast, it'd be 20 minutes. I forget it.
Okay.
It'll be too long. So we'll just keep walking. Maybe I'll do it in the morning.
All right. So you start walking along, and it's a bit of a trek. I want you guys to make a survival check, as you only have basic rations, but if you want to, you know, try and forage for any food or anything like that, you can do so with the survival check.
The neighbor try. No.
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 Luckily, you didn't get a nat 1, but it is still a 1. And Dante, you do manage to find some like basic herbs and stuff that you might be able to do some cooking with. Nothing that's like insanely edible by itself, but you do recognize like, hey, this is some sort of spice I could throw on some meat. And there are plenty of small animals that you could kill along the way to get some meat.
I found spices.
And then,
So I'll make us say that.
Cool. And then nighttime approaches. And you set up camp. And I'm assuming you're grilling this meat, seasoning it up, all that stuff that you just acquired.
Yep.
Well, as you're roasting it and night has fallen, I want you both to make a perception check.
Whenever do you like your rabbit sauteed or stewed?
I am getting terrible rolls.
Yes, you are.
I'm just focused on him cooking.
So Dante, as you're cooking, you start you have this spit that you're rotating this animal on, and then you feel a little quake underneath you. It's like a sudden vibration. You're like, what the hell is that? And then you feel it again and it gets stronger, and you feel it again and it gets stronger. And I want you guys to throw your icons on the map close together.
The ground.
Yes.
I'm gonna,
Yes,
I'm
Kavilla,
ready.
get those terrible rolls out of the way while you can. So throw those on there, and then I need you to roll initiative.
All right. I'm gonna bet I'm gonna get 5 on initiative.
I gotta throw my token on.
I forgot to.
Yeah, you have
I
to
forgot-
click your icon first.
All right. Do you want me to re-roll after doing that, or?
Yeah, just re-roll after you, or just I'll pop in the 11.14. You just got to make sure you roll it so it's on the map.
All right.
Oh, that was pretty good. Oh, and it usually helps if I click the right screen.
Ooh.
And you're back down to the 11.14. So you start hearing trees rustling behind you. Dante, you are completely alert as you hear stomping. And a very large creature comes up behind you. As it's uploading, may take a moment. Boom! T-Rex time.
Oh, let's choose.
And it is, I get to roll initiative for it, but I already rolled off screen. I just have to click it to my roll initiative so he is available. And that's pretty much what I rolled anyway, so that's very convenient. All right, Dante, you're up first as you see a giant T-Rex charging towards you, looking very hungry as it smelled the food that you were roasting.
Oh no. No, it's here. I'm gonna take an action,
All right.
and I'm gonna cast Armor of Agathis at 2nd level on this.
All right, you cast Armor of Agathis at 2nd level. How many levels of Warlock do you have versus Fighter? Or Paladin, I mean?
I want Warlock, but I have 7 levels of Paladin.
You have 7 levels of Warlock?
No, 7 levels of Paladin.
Oh, okay. Then... and with Paladin, you would have the 2nd level spell slot. Cool. So you cast Armor of Agathis on yourself. What else do you want to do with your turn? You have bonus action and any movement, any stuff like that.
Can I throw there's a bonus action, or
Sorry, you're breaking up a bit. What?
can I throw the food as a bonus action?
You throw what as a bonus action?
Can I throw the food?
Sure. Yeah, that would be an item interaction. So go ahead and make an athletics check to see how far away you throw it.
Well, if I can eat it into the nearest county. Hit.
Yep. You throw it. I mean, it's not really heavy. So let's just say you throw it probably this far. Yeah, I'd say 1 square for every 2 rolled. That works. So 25 feet, and you're just throwing it directly away from you in this general direction, I assume?
Nope. Stand still for my minute and hope it doesn't notice me.
All right, you're going to just try and stand very still and hope it doesn't notice you. And you threw the meat. It looks in that direction. And let's see. But then it looks back in your direction and roars in your face.
Oh no.
Lunaire, you're up.
All right. Hold on. I have an idea.
All right.
I want. Oh, sorry, I woke up pretty early. So I had to yawn. All right. I will cast Phantasmal Force on the T-Rex.
All right. Phantasmal Force. Phantasmal Force. Let me just make sure I have that available on my end so I know what the hell I'm talking about, because that is a lot of text. All right. Must make an intelligence saving throw. I doubt it's going to do great on that. Ooh, yeah. It would have passed if I had just been able to take the dice, but nope. All right. So it fails its intelligence saving throw, which means that it sees whatever visible phenomenon that can fit in a 10-foot cube.
Alright. I have no idea what it would be scared of, but
All right.
I think it's like a sudden, like some kind of terrifying, ominous wind just pop up in front of it.
So a 10-foot ominous wave pops up in front.
Like an ominous wind thing, or like
Oh.
a vortex. It looks like a vortex of like black wind just in front of it, giving off an eerie feeling.
All right. Similarly, each round the All right. So where do you want to cast it? Like right in between you and it?
Basically, like, yeah.
All right. So it sees this thing, and it's kind of like moving its head back and forth, trying to understand it, but it seems a little nervous. And it then, are you going to do anything with your bonus action?
No, I'm just gonna observe it and see its reaction as it goes to its turn.
All right. It kind of pokes its head around it, looks at this thing that's about 10 feet tall, and it doesn't seem overly worried about it, but it still walks around and goes towards the meat that was thrown on the ground and is now like facing away from you guys.
All right.
And that's going to be its action as
Alright,
it's
so-
munching on this animal carcass that has been cooked.
All right. And if it moves a certain amount, it does take some damage, right?
So while
Yeah.
the target is affected by this,
It takes psychic damage if it moves within 5 feet of the phantasm.
each round on your turn, the phantasm can deal, provided the illusion is of.
Oh no, I didn't specify it was something that would cause damage to something that's scared.
Yeah, and it tried to mostly stay away from it and stay around it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I forgot to do that.
it's no problem. But then it is avoiding you, and that is still a positive outcome. And it is focused more on the food at the moment. Dante, what would you like to do now that this is not focusing on you and eating the food that is thrown off to the side. If you are trying to talk, I cannot understand or hear you very well. Still can't get anything on my end. Yeah, you're still. You sound like kind of super far away from your microphone or something. I don't know.
Can you hear me now?
Barely.
Okay. Yeah, a little bit better.
A tiny bit better, but not by much.
Okay, let me here. Let me change my headphones. My AirPods died, so I had to swap my headphones. Okay.
This is always why I stick with wired everything, because I always feel like it's going to die on me on the worst possible times.
I might get a just.
Yeah, basically we hear like a word, but then everything else was intelligible.
Yeah.
Unintelligible, I meant.
Well, let's go ahead and get Lunaire's turn, and then we'll just circle back to Dante as soon as that hopefully gets sorted out. So, Lunaire, what are you going to do?
Right now, since I know it's just hungry and not looking to actively fight us,
Mm-hmm.
I want to make a minor illusion on myself.
Okay.
Or on both of me and Dante of just nothing there. I wanted to make it look like the surroundings around us.
So, like it's a bush or just random.
Yeah.
Okay. You create a sound or an image. It can be no larger than a 5-foot cube. So I'm guessing you're just gonna like get behind Dante and put it right in front of him.
Yeah, I'm gonna be like right here and just put it like put the illusion right there so that all the dinosaur can see from the illusion is what's behind us. So basically, like camouflage, we're just like, instead of seeing us, it sees those trees behind us.
Yeah. So it sees like a random shrub or bush because it's only 5 feet, but it's still just enough.
Yeah.
So it's still munching away at the moment. But Dante, what are you going to do as hopefully the sounds issue got sorted out?
Okay.
Definitely can hear you better now.
Yeah, it was the headset I was using.
Oh, okay.
It doesn't have the best mic. So I'm going to. We're in an illusion. So I'm going to cast. I'm gonna just Hexblade's curse it.
All right.
In case it decides to go after us. And then I'd like to hold my action to attack if it figures out that we're still here.
All right. It is Hexblade's Curse, and you hold your action for an attack.
Yes.
Cool. So now it is the T-Rex's turn, who has now scarfed down that piece of meat, as it is a very small piece of meat. It would have only taken him a turn to eat it. And it looks back and doesn't notice anything other than what it is intended to be seen. It still sees this like weird windstorm next to a suddenly appeared bush, but object permanence is not a thing that T-Rexes are really known for, so it just kind of sniffs the air and then just wanders away. Just starts stomping off into the distance. And you manage to deal with an encounter without ever attacking.
All right.
Oh,
Which I think is a new achievement on these streams. Because I'm pretty sure nobody has ever gone into an encounter and not just immediately killed everything.
All right. I let out a sigh of relief as Lanier drops the illusion and the phantasmal.
And then you do go the night. You're kind of stuck with basic rations because your food is now gone, but it's still enough to eat. And you guys gonna keep watch for the night and all that good stuff?
Lanier will ask Dante to keep a lookout for 11 minutes while he does the ritual.
Okay.
Which is tiny hut.
Tiny hut.
I love this spell.
All right, tiny hut is perfect for this situation because then you are automatically in good shape. There's pretty much nothing that can harm you inside of your tiny hut that is opaque, and you guys are safe for the night. You manage to get in a full long rest until morning, and you are awoken by a crashing sound outside of your tent. It is off in the distance, but in the direction that your compass that doesn't point north is pointing.
All right. Lanier awakens from his trance and makes sure everything is good, and then looks at Dante to see what we should do next.
Oh. Well, there was a... Did I hear the explosion?
Yes, it was a very audible... It was more like a just boom sound, and that was it.
Well, do you think we should go and help that individual, or do you think we should continue with our quest?
I mean, they are in the same direction. But...
Yeah, I was...
Well, why don't we go that way?
All right.
All right.
Oh, 1 minute. I'm going to swap in some spells real quick.
All right.
Paladin.
As you start venturing into that direction, you travel for about an hour, and then you start seeing some smoke rising up from off in the distance.
All right.
And then as you get closer, you notice that there is a large crater in the earth.
As Lanier notices, he starts to increase speed to try to get there quicker to see if anyone was injured or in need of help.
All right.
Same.
Before you wind up coming across this crater, would either of you like to make a guess as to what inspired this quest? Because once it's revealed, there's no way I'm giving DM inspiration because it's obviously obvious type of thing.
Crater. Is it from Rings of Power?
It is
Gandalf?
not.
Wait,
Artifact.
crater.
What's...
Thank you, Head Ninja. I'm glad you've been enjoying my videos, and I appreciate anybody that's been playing 5e for a while. I've been playing for quite some time. It's a good time to have. But no, it is not Rings of Power. Any other ideas of what it could be? What inspired this quest?
Given the crater, the first thing that comes to mind is Ben 10.
It is not Ben 10. Any other guesses before I reveal what comes out of the crater?
Crater and explosions. Is it War from Darksiders?
It is not from Darksiders.
It's not Chris Redfield. He would have picked up the mountain and thrown it at us.
I don't know. The second thing that comes to mind is Doomsday crashing and Death of Superman.
I would say that's somewhat closer, but I'm going to go ahead and reveal it unless anybody wants to make one last shot.
1 minute. So there's an explosion.
You got to think
Oh.
about the entire quest, though.
Tyrael. Oh, no, that's a crap. I was gonna say Tyrael from Diablo 3. That's probably my final answer.
Alright, we've seen dinosaurs.
You've
The
seen?
quest was find an artifact in the wilderness.
Yep.
Druids.
And you have a
Legend of
compass
Zelda?
that doesn't point north, and it points towards this artifact.
Jack Sparrow. Pirates of the Caribbean. They didn't have druids in Pirates of the Caribbean.
They did not.
Aw.
You could probably ignore the druids part. That's
okay.
the only thing. Only other hint I'll give.
Turok?
No. All right, Lunaire, you get one more guess, and if you don't get it, then we're moving right ahead, and it's going to be very, very obvious.
Nothing's coming to my mind at the moment.
All right, I'm uploading the image now. Boom.
Of course. Of course.
So now it should be a little more apparent as to what artifact you're searching for, and that some sort of creature is also searching for this same artifact. But a humanoid comes out of this crater, and you see this like strange looking ship in the crater as well, and it comes out and it looks at you with this strange monocle on its face, and just immediately looks back and forth and says, "You both, where is the sphere of power?"
We don't know.
What do you mean you don't know? Pathetic.
Why are you wearing that strange getup? Where'd you get it?
This what, my armor?
That's armor?
It is the armor of true warriors.
I don't wear armor, and I'm a warrior.
Says, you look like a pathetic warrior. And
Who are you, and what is the
Your
orb
hair is
you
weird.
speak of?
says, none of your concern. And he immediately starts walking off in the direction that your non-north pointing compass is pointing towards.
I'm going to cast Eldritch Blast right next to him and attempt to intimidate him while saying, "You better answer or else you'll face the consequences."
All right. We're going to roll initiative again, but we'll start it right from that point. Just so that way we have access to it.
Yep.
Okay. And it works out that you came first. Yeah, that turn order is perfect for this situation. Now I am just trying to make sure. Oh, I found the perfect creature for this. Awesome. Okay. So as you're looking and you try to shoot a blast, roll for that Eldritch Blast.
Alright, Eldritch Blast. Alright.
Which you can do a double blast right now if you'd like, because I know you have 2 blasts since you're level 8.
Alright. And
Okay, so you hear there's a blast that hits the ground right next to him, and he turns around and he says, "How dare you? You have the audacity to attack me?" And
yes.
That is your turn. After throws the bomb, roll these. Okay. So this needs to be. So this is going to be a recharge, and he looks. He says, "You have the audacity!" And his hands start to glow, and he tries to blast in your direction. I need both of you to make a dexterity saving throw.
Well, we get a +4 to those because
Oh yeah, paladin jazz. You get +4.
All right, then add 4 to that.
Yeah,
so
that I don't
24.
think I need to add 4 to a 20. You very nimbly dodge out of the way, but you still feel it brush against your skin. Dante, go ahead and roll for that save as well.
1 minute here. I have to get my dad's wallet. Oh. It's 4.
And yeah, Kavilla, I tried to throw in the dinosaurs because in a lot of the like original Dragon Ball and some of the random parts of Dragon Ball Z, there's always like dinosaurs just wandering around, especially they're always T-Rexes or pterodactyls and stuff. So it's super random, but I just felt like it fit. And Dante, you roll an 18 as well. You both managed to dodge out of the way. You still feel the rush of just pure arcane energy blast past you, dealing 8 radiant damage to both of you as you still dodged out of the way, but you only dodged a portion of the damage.
All right.
Okay, so I take 8.
The worst part is I actually thought of Dragon Ball, but then dismissed it.
Yeah, there's no harm in just guessing away. So
I just forgot about the dinosaurs.
Yeah.
In Dragon Ball.
Yeah, I was like, what can be a random encounter before you come across this big bad enemy? All right, and now it is Dante's turn as you have dodged out of the way, and this blast comes out at you with surprising force.
Alright. I am going to. I'm going to use a bonus action to Hexblade's Curse him.
All right, so
And
he is
then-
now cursed by your Hexblade's curse.
I'm going to run up and hit him twice. So try to hit him twice.
All right, you go and
Two
start
spears.
smacking away. Ooh, and that is the first spear hit is going to miss.
Yep.
The second one is definitely going to hit with a 10, with 10 damage, and you get to, what's your proficiency bonus right now? I'm trying to remember.
Plus,
You have a 3 to proficiency. All right, so that means that it's a total of 13. As you stab into his side, and he looks up at you and says, "Ah, so you have some fight in you after all." And I made a terrible choice choosing that voice, as I am already sick. But too late, I chose it. Lunaire, you are up.
All right. I am going to look at him and like, you call that magic? It just shoot 2 more Eldritch Blast directly at him this time. And
All right, the first Eldritch Blast is definitely going to hit. The second one's going to miss.
all right.
And yes, Head Ninja, that kind of makes sense that somebody would have just revived the dragon or dinosaurs with Dragon Balls. That would make the most logical sense. So we got.
And then before my turn ends, I want to use my bonus action to use second wind and
Okay.
restore some of my lost HP.
All right. Go for it. Roll the, what is it,
With,
1d10 plus your fighter level.
yeah.
And so he takes one spear to the side. It throws him off. He seems surprised looking at Dante. He also takes a blast to the shoulder. And he smiles.
And I am back to full HP.
Yes, you are. All right, let's see if he gets his blast back. Okay. You don't know whether he gets his blast back. But he starts punching directly at Dante because, of course, he's going to. Oh! And he leaves himself wide open as he does this like massive overhand try to slam you right in the head. But he's just assuming you're like way less of a proficient fighter than you are, Dante. He leaves himself wide open and you get a free attack against him.
I will use that.
Okay. Since he crit failed.
Ooh.
Oh, and you crit fail. So you like, he leaves himself wide open and then you smack him with the blunt side of your spear because you don't have the right angle because it's just throwing you off and he's just kind of surprised by the entire situation. But I'm not going to harm your spear for crit failing on responding to a crit failure because that would just feel mean. All right. And what is your armor class?
19, but I already used my reaction. I was going to use a reaction to use shield, but I already used a reaction. So it's 19.
This is that was totally a free. Oh yeah, I guess that would be a reaction. So 19. He is going to hit you with his second attack as he punches way harder than you ever expected somebody to be able to punch. And ooh, that is some high dice. Let's see, 3, 5, 6. He hits you. He punches you right in the shell for 21 damage.
Wow. Thank you.
And now it is your turn.
Bonus action, I'm going to cast Shield of Faith and give myself +2 to AC.
All right.
And then I'm just going to roll to hit him twice.
So your current AC is now how much? Sorry?
21.
All right. And so you go to hit him twice after Shield of Faith, which is
22. And then I'll pump a smite into that.
Yeah. 22 is definitely going to hit. And you're going to smite the crap out of him. For an extra 4 damage, and you get an extra +3 from your Hexblade's Curse, bringing you to a total of 17 damage with that single spear thrust as you thrust into his side, and then you charge it up, and it just like booms out with some extra force, dealing 17.
I'm gonna roll to hit him again.
Okay.
22.
22.
You
definitely stab into him again, dealing 14 damage, and you can feel free to smite as you please.
$14.
14. Yeah, that is a pretty considerable smite. And he feels that insane amount of damage just stab into him and then blast out again. And he looks at you in surprise, and then out of nowhere, he disappears from in front of you and appears next to Lunaire.
I'm gonna run over to here.
And then Lunaire, it is your turn.
Lunaire will see this crazy speed and panic and use dissonant whispers on this stranger from space.
All right. AC 14 wisdom save. Ooh, I did not roll great. Did not roll great. Yeah, he is failed. So that means he takes 3d6 psychic damage, so which is 14.
And he must immediately use his reaction to run away from you as fast as possible.
Yes. So he goes 5, 10.
And as a reaction,
Yeah.
I'm going to attack him with my rapier.
All right, you do so. Go for it. And Dante, you also get an opportunity attack as a reaction. So the rapier hits for 21, and go ahead and roll your damage, which is 7 piercing damage, which is pretty solid. And Dante, go ahead and make your attack of opportunity as well. A 16 is actually going to miss.
All right. And yeah.
That's all right. That's going to be wait. He can move 2 more than that. Yep, that's his turn.
Oh, and before my turn ends, I'm going to use an action surge
Okay.
and attempt to hit him with Eldritch Blast.
All right. Go
Two
ahead.
blasts
Roll
of it.
roll your double blasting. That will hit.
All right, and come on.
The second one will miss. Go ahead and roll the
All
damage
right.
for the first one. Then 25 coconut men come out and rolls around, making an entire area difficult terrain. I like that idea, and I feel like I should.
All right.
8 force damage. All right. I'm really tempted to do that now. That is a great idea, Nexus. I feel like I should throw out those little random creatures. No, I can't. I tried to scale this encounter to be just difficult enough, and I feel like if I start throwing out those little cabbage creatures or whatever, it would just go way off the deep end.
No
right.
Cybermen for us.
Yeah, no Cybermen this turn. Straight line. All right. So,
And yeah, I mean, unless I wanted to use my bonus action, that would be that's my turn.
all right. Oh, I should probably zoom out so you can actually see this. There we go. So he's off in the distance now, and he regains his breath, and he says, "You must all die." And then I need you both to make a dexterity saving throw again.
All right.
With a +4.
You do get the +4.
11 power.
So that'd be 13 with the
13.
+4.
13, you're gonna get hit. Dante, you manage to block some of the damage. Just with it's like you turn your metallic shell to block it partially from your side, just for a quick moment. And 14, 15. So that's 17 damage hitting Lunaire, as Lunaire's not able to dodge out of the way, and 8 damage for Dante, as you get blasted with radiant damage.
I will use my channel divinity, so Raditz will have to make a check here.
No, I use my reaction, didn't I? Or is that just for my turn?
You used your reaction on because of the yeah.
It's one reaction per round,
Yep.
not one reaction per turn.
Correct.
Oh no, it's only 30
Alright.
feet. Wait, is it 30 feet away from me? It might be more. Oh, it's 40 feet. I cannot use my reaction for that.
Yeah, he's got some speed.
Oh, it's a debate. Oh, and then I do it to make a concentration check as well.
Oh, yeah, you do.
So that would be
Just to see if you're still concentrating on your shield of faith.
I'm good. That is a 12.
All right, cool. All right. And now, Dante, it is your turn.
Alrighty. Dante is going to cast Hold Person on him.
All right. What is
You
the
need
save?
it is a DC 16.
He does pass. Anything else you want to do?
Do I have any bonus action spells for non-concentration? Oh. No, I'll keep Shield of Faith up.
All right.
That'll be it.
Would Dante lost Shield of Faith to the casting? Oh, yeah. You would have lost Shield of Faith as soon as you casted
Oh,
Hold
okay,
Person
thank you.
anyways. So, yeah, that makes
yeah,
sense,
that's true.
Cavilla. Good call out.
Thank you. I forgot about that. I don't really have any more bonus actions. So yeah, that'll be my turn.
All right. And then, Lunaire, what are you going to do?
I am going to hold on. You know what? I'm just gonna use Eldritch Blast and try to do some damage again.
All right. You Eldritch Blast. Go for it.
20, baby!
Yeah, that's going to crit.
Nat 20, baby!
Oh, all right. With a double nat 20, he doesn't get to use his insanely powerful reaction I was going to do. But... All right.
All right.
So you just do one of the, like, it's like you respond to the scenario and you just start shouting and go, ah, and start blasting away. And you blast through him and he has these, like, two giant holes that suddenly pierce through his body. And you see his eyes go white and he falls over and the monocle falls off of his face.
Huh. I told you, that's magic.
Doop. And I turned him upside down because he's dead.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did.
I go up to Dante and ask how he's faring after taking his hit.
I'm a little bit past. I'm down 30 HP, but I'll heal myself. Well, how are you doing?
I'm doing fairly well. I'm not even halfway down.
Okay, I will. I'll use a second level spell slot to cast Prayer of Healing. It costs 10 minutes.
Okay. So you cast
And then-
Prayer of Healing for 10 minutes.
Yep, and we both regain 2d8 plus 4 HP.
All right. 2d8 plus 4.
All right.
So you do see this dead person in front of you.
15.
And he does have this weird ship that has crashed. It looks like some sort of ship that's used for traveling the astral, as far as you know. But that's most of what you can discern. It's pretty wrecked. And,
All right.
but
Can I take his scouter?
You can, and you have discovered the magic item from this quest.
Yeah.
So,
Dante will put it on.
as you put it on, it is an item that does not require concentration. Let me look up the thing I wrote about it. Because you can use the feature Know Your Enemy from the Battle Master Fighter class, but it has a few alterations. So you can figure out, instead of using 1 minute, you can use a bonus action once per day to know your enemy, to know its armor class, its strength score, constitution score, dexterity score, or if it happens to have any sort of spell casting or blasting ability.
Got it.
So you can get a general assessment of a creature, mostly based off of stats, but actually I'm going to say you can't know the armor class because that wouldn't be the actual person, but you can know basically any of their core physical stats if you need them.
All right.
We should take his armor. Maybe we could sell it back at the place.
Yeah, it does. The armor looks like it's in rough shape, but you could still probably salvage some of it for sale.
Okay, Dante will do that.
All right.
Oh wait, did we ever get that magical artifact that was around here?
Not yet.
Let's go find it.
All right. So you can follow either the scouter, which was tuned to that item, or the compass that you have.
The compass that doesn't point north.
The compass that doesn't point north and only points towards very specific magical artifacts.
I'll do the scouter.
All right. So you know the exact distance now, and you know it's about 2 hours travel.
Of course, the compass isn't the compass from the pirates, it's the Seeking Dragon radar.
Yeah, it's the dragon radar. That's exactly what it is.
It's all so obvious now.
Yeah.
2 hours that way.
Yeah, so you head about 2 hours in the direction of where you know the Dragon Ball would be. But you come to a mountainside, and there is a large nest of some kind, and you see some eggs that are about the size of you. And in there, you see a large orange sphere.
1 minute. I'll go and grab it, and I'll start walking up the tree.
All right, so you start walking up this mountainside to grab it, and as you start approaching the nest, you hear a loud squawk.
Who's squawking at me?
I am finding that now.
It's a pterodactyl.
Yeah, a pterodactyl.
I'm sorry, but my P isn't silent.
Yeah, I whenever somebody tries to ask what the like how to spell a name, if somebody's like P as in Peter, I say P as in pterodactyl, just to throw it off. And Head Ninja, thank you for watching the video about Goku, and coincidentally, this of course is going to be the DBZ episode. All right, so as you get very close, you suddenly see there is what appears to be kind of a pterodactyl looking thing, but is actually
A baby pterodactyl with wings.
of rock.
Oh.
It's going to be this big. As
Does it look scared? Or like...
It looks pissed. It looks like, oh, you are screwing with my babies. So you are close enough to grab the item. Let's go ahead and space you go. Lunaire, did you also go towards the nest, or are you like waiting off in the distance?
I didn't start climbing. I followed him to right before he started climbing.
All right, we're going to say that you're about over here then. And so, Dante, you're about to reach into this nest when you hear the squawk. You see the rock in the distance coming at you, and it looks pissed. What you gonna do? You gonna try and stand your ground? You gonna grab the sphere and go running? You gonna what do you want?
1 minute here. I am going to. You know what? I'm gonna bare my teeth at it, so like Dante's gonna see this rock coming,
Mhm.
and he's gonna grab the sphere, and like he's gonna stare at the rock. It's gonna be like a horror movie moment where like his jaw unhinges,
Okay.
and like the rock would just probably stare into like this dark abyss that's in his mouth,
All right. So it
and then he's
just
gonna.
it's swarming in. It sees your mouth just open agape. It looks scared, but I would need an insight check if you want any more insight
Well,
as to why it's scared.
I'll do an insight. There's always a bigger bird.
Yeah.
Insight here.
Yeah, with that insight check, you
yeah.
completely understand exactly what's going on. As you opened up your maw, it looks terrified, but not of you, but for its children. As with a nat 20, you can completely figure out the entire situation. You are going into its nest, and you opened up this massive maw that you have. It thinks that you're immediately trying to eat its children.
Oh no, I'm just gonna take the orb and walk away.
All right. So you take the orb and you start just strolling away, and it swoops down and covers its nest and just kind of like uses its wings to shield it, and it just keeps glaring in your direction.
And then I'm just gonna pop my jaw back in place.
All right. You hear like a as your jaw goes back into place, and you stroll away with this ancient sphere. As you've managed to do this entire quest like 3 times faster than I expected because you avoided all encounters except for one. But you just stroll away with the ancient artifact is this glowing orange sphere with 2 red stars on it.
All right.
As you have unlocked the second chain quest that has been revealed in my D&D sessions.
Yay!
The first chain quest is the Ninja Turtle stuff, and now the second one is recovering Dragon Balls.
All right. As Dante walks back, I'm just gonna say, so well, do you think that Bugbear has hurt the girl yet?
No, I think she fell in love. It's like some sort of Stockholm syndrome thing. I think she probably has going on.
Oh, okay.
As you guys are like totally just assuming this and never having investigated the situation and just knowing that there's a quest that's been up on the board for like weeks now. So
Yeah.
and you guys make the journey back to town. But now because you've done this in such a different way than I'm used to and not had to battle nearly as much, I want you both to roll a D100.
Oh boy.
All right.
47.
All right. And
Okay. As you're strolling along and you wind up back at the Adventurers Hall, there's a woman there to greet you, and she does seem very eager, and she thanks you so much for bringing the artifact back, as you have brought home the 2-star Dragon Ball.
No problem.
yes.
So she gives you each your 100 gold for doing it, and she says, "You know what? Just here, just because I've been wanting this for so long, and just throws a random amount of gold at each of you. Dante, you get an extra 47 gold, and Lunaire, you get an extra 22 gold.
All right.
As gold is no issue for her at all. And she says, I will be probably requesting some of your services in the future. I was not expecting it to go so well. And frankly, it's a lot easier than hunting him down myself.
It was no problem at all. You're welcome, miss.
No problem at all. But there was a guy from space. Just to let you know.
And in this situation, he'd be more from the astral. But yeah, she would be like,
The
what?
astral plane.
Yeah, some guy fell out of the sky and tried to go after it as well. He was talking about some ancient orb or something, and he tried going off that way, and we stopped him. We
Yeah,
have his
that's where he
armor
got
here.
this.
And she's
Yeah, we have his body here.
and she's like, can I take that armor? I would like to inspect it a little further at home.
No problem.
She says, and of course, I will gladly pay you for it.
Well, okay, how much you willing to give?
And here is where we get the persuasion and insight checks. She is willing. She's like, well, it's pretty beat up armor, but I'm mostly just going to use it for investigating. Let's see.
Look, the best I can do is 500.
500? That's insane. I would probably have given you maybe 94 gold.
96 gold.
This guy was pretty dangerous. If he had been able to run wild, he might have done a lot of damage.
All right, I'm going to get a persuasion check from both of you. Oh, there we go. It's 27 and a 16. Let's see what she gets. She says, all right. I totally understand. You each get an even 100. How about that?
Thank you. Come again.
Yes, that would be perfect.
Yeah, so with some insane rolls, you've managed to turn what is usually a 100 gold quest into 247 and 222 gold respectively. So that may have broken things a little bit, but whatever. Shit happens. So now you have been Dante, you now definitely have enough for an uncommon magical item at the shop if you'd like. And Lunaire, your very first quest has resulted in 222 gold, although you do not have the scouter, but that's okay. You are now more aware of this chain quest that is going on. Let me bring up the wondrous item list for uncommon items. So you can have +1 ammunition. Oh, there's a lot of good stuff. A +1 shield, or a +1 weapon, or you could go with a massive list of totally random stuff. Like an immovable rod, a hat of disguise, goggles of object reading.
I think I'll do the +1 shield.
All right, you are great. He can very easily just give you one. You have a +1 shield now, which you spend all 500 gold on that general idea, or that general item.
Yep.
Anything else that you would both like to do in the meantime? You are now back at the Adventures Hall, safe and sound. You have powered through a quest that usually takes 2 to 3 hours in less than an hour and a half. So if there's anything you'd like to do at the quest hall, anything you'd like to do in the village, I'm more than happy to accommodate that.
I want to see how Dalton's reacting to no one taking his quest.
All right, make an insight check.
All right.
As you see him at the bar of the Adventurers Hall.
All right. Hopefully, all my rolls weren't spent on those 2 nat 20s.
Yeah.
Oh, they were. They were.
He is very obviously down about it. Like, he's kind of sitting there drinking by himself. There's like one random guy consoling him a little bit. Oh, excuse me. And he's just kind of moping, drinking, and the other guy is just like, you know what, cheer up, buddy. This is, I'm sure people are just busy. You'll get plenty of people to help you out eventually. In the meantime, you can always, get stronger on your own. And you just see him moping. He's like, it doesn't matter. People should be willing to just help me out just because it's me.
I mean, I eat 5 dozen eggs every day.
Yeah.
I'm roughly the size of a barge. Dante's gonna walk up to Dalton.
Yeah, he literally has he's drinking a large mug of mead, and he has a giant bowl of hard-boiled eggs that he's just progressively eating.
I'm just gonna walk up to Dalton.
All right.
Dalton is your name?
He says, yeah. What about it?
What's so special about this girl?
He says, well, if I saved her, she would obviously want to be my wife.
I don't think that's how it works.
He says, really? And he like stands up and puts his hands on his hips. And he's like, who wouldn't want to marry this?
I'm pretty sure plenty of women around the village would be more than willing to marry you.
Says, I don't care about plenty of women around the village. I care about her. She's denied me in the past.
Have you tried talking to her?
He says, yes, I've talked to her, and she always shoots me down.
Was she kidnapped, or?
He says, well, yeah, she's been kidnapped. Her father let me know and asked for the Adventurers Hall help. It was this perfect opportunity for me to get in good with her father and also make her owe me, so that way she feels like she has to marry me.
So, Dante, you think we should help this girl out for her father's sake?
I think so, but I think we need more people to do it. Describe this bugbear to us.
He says, all I know is that there's a bugbear that owns a castle, and he's captured her quite some time ago. She's been stuck there for weeks now.
Look, buddy, I'm gonna be serious here. This guy has a castle. What do you have? A small hut? How are you gonna compare to that?
It's like, what are you talking about? Comparing to a bugbear? It's a bugbear. I'm Dalton.
You know what? When we have time and more people, we'll think about helping you on this. If only for the father's sake, but I think you need to learn how to talk to women, dude.
Nexus and Head Ninja, it is not quite Yamcha. This person we've established in the past is actually Gaston from Beauty and the Beast, and he responds to Lunaire, and he's like, I know how to talk to women. I get plenty of women. Look at these pecs, damn it! And he like starts doing the peck dance and like doing and flexing his muscles, and you see the man right next to him just kind of looking up in awe.
That's all impressive, but I mean, do you even know any of these girls' names?
Says, why would I need to know their names?
So you can know what to call them besides wife?
Says, that seems pointless.
Have you ever read any romance novels, Dalton?
Says, why would I read?
Where are the How could you read those? They have no pictures.
Yeah, he says, the only thing I read are quests on the quest board because they provide glory.
But have you completed any quests on the quest board?
He says, it's been a while, but I have.
Which one?
There was that one where I had to make sure the sheep got back. They got lost. I did it though, and I also hunted that random boar.
Okay. I'm gonna what's it called? Exaggerate our quest a little and say we took on a dinosaur
Says
Yeah.
on our way,
And then we fought 200 men.
and we also fought off what's it called, the Brock, or
Yeah.
whatever.
Iraq.
And say we also fought off a Brock while stealing its eggs.
okay. And he's like, I'm sure I could have done that, no problem.
It
That
was about
sounds
500
easy.
feet up.
Sorry, what was that?
Well, the Vrock's nest was 500 feet off. And then we fought one guy with the strength of 20 U's.
Says, oh, I doubt that. Nobody has the strength of 20 me.
I don't know. This guy was pretty strong. I think he did.
Just for the sake of using the item that I just gave you, if you want, you can use that scouter.
Oh, I am.
All right. What stat would you like to know?
Let's do strength.
He does have a 18 in strength.
Nice.
So he's like, I am insanely strong. Will you look at this? And he like flexes his arm and he points to his bicep, and like your scouter zooms in on the bicep, and you're like, 18 in strength.
All right, prove it. Challenge the strongest guy in this bar. That giant over there should do nicely.
Says, oh, that should be no problem. And he like, let's see, who do we have in the bar? There is a burly dwarf that runs the bar. There is Silpharis, I never remember how to pronounce his name, who is a furbolg. He's pretty big. And a couple dragonborn. Which would I'm just gonna go roll at random, see which one it would be. So it looks like he would go against Durlamax, which is a gray chromatic dragonborn. I'm not sure exactly what kind of dragonborn he is, but I know he's a paladin. He is pretty strong and he can do lots of stuff. So he starts going up to him and just shoving him and says, we're going to arm wrestle right now. And Durlamax just kind of shrugs him off. He says, damn it, listen to me. And he like throws a stein at the back of his head. And you hear the man behind the bar, and he says, listen, son, this is my bar. Don't be starting any crap. Now get out. He says, but he was supposed to be arm wrestling me. He says, I don't care. Get out and forfeit the quest that you're working on. He says, what? The quest belongs to me. And he like goes to try and snatch it off the bar, and the bartender, or snatch it off the quest board, and the bartender launches over the bar and grabs the quest off the board before him. And I do think Mr. Satan might be able to take on Gaston, head ninja. The bartender snatches the quest off the board before Gaston can even get to it, and you just see him glare and amaze this dwarf with this very bushy mustache. And he says, get out of my bar before you regret it, son. And you see Gaston or Dalton walk away in defeat, pouting. And the man that was consoling him earlier follows him, trying to immediately reassure him. And now, the quest to save the princess from the castle is no longer tied to Dalton.
Huzzah. I'm going to walk up to the bartender. I'm sorry for causing all that mess. I didn't think you'd go that far.
He says, he was a jackass. You did just fine, son.
Oh, thank you, but I'm not your son.
He says, "My apologies. Only meant it as a term of endearment. Now,
Oh,
what can I get you?"
okay. I'll take a beer, please.
Very well. He like slams one on the counter, pours the beer. He says, "This one's on the house."
Thank you. I'm gonna just nurse it.
All right. I need to figure out how I'm going to rework that quest now that Dalton's no longer attached, but that's
Oh, I'm sorry.
no, it's totally fine. It was probably worth reworking considering that quest has been there since everybody was level 6. So,
Yeah.
Yeah. And like,
Dalton just gathers an angry mob of himself.
totally possible.
it was fun just to mess with him.
Yeah. So, you have completed the quest. You have altered another quest. And you have gained way more gold than I anticipated. But I would say that that is a very successful session. It usually goes pretty fast when there's only 1 to 2 people that were able to join, which totally understandable. People have lives, but hopefully you guys had fun and
We did.
good. If there's anything else you'd like to do before the session ends, I know you got a +1 shield, but if there's anything else that your characters would like to do in session prior to anything that we would discuss on Discord, you're welcome to do that.
I think that's it for Dante.
All right. What about you, Lunaire?
Linnea's just gonna practice some of the old sword play he was taught before he took up the magical arts.
All right. That totally works. You practice your overall swording ability, swordsmanship ability. We'll say that. And Dante is relishing his new +1 shield as if I needed your armor class to be any higher than it already was. All right. And especially with Shield of Faith, that will now bring your armor class to 22 when Shield of Faith is active. So that's going to be fun to try and overcome as a DM. All right. In the meantime, I hope everybody had some fun. I hope anybody that watched enjoyed. And in general, this has been D&D Builds. I hope everybody that plays D&D gets to roll 3 nat 20s in their next D&D session, especially if they're going to play any of the ridiculous builds that I put out there, or if they happen to be going up against characters from Dragon Ball or Disney or any random anime. So until next time,